how I go and shoot a wedding.
You want to create something in the world, you have to come out of the condition.
I'm a lifestyle photographer based out of New Delhi.
पिक्सल विलेज का जो अप्रोच है वो जरा अलग है.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome, good evening. Welcome to Pixel Village, and I'm Radha Krishnan. Well, you know why we are here. We are here for a special reason, and we're going to be talking to an amazing photographer, and we're going to chew his brain today. We're not going to let him go very easily, okay? Because we got him with a lot of difficulty, and he has agreed to share a lot of stuff with us. And it's going to be all related to wedding photography. And before I go into this evening's proceedings, let me see who all are in here today. Okay, Prasanna, Ramit. Oh, Ramit Batra. Ramit is waiting. How wonderful. Okay, Ramit, thank you very much. That's wonderful. And Prasanna and Right Click Studio, wonderful. Suresh, Kumar, Milan, Bhavesh. They are all regular villagers. Wonderful. Sarvesh More, Arup Bose, B, Purna Pragnya, Nish Joy, Sonak Das. Wonderful, wonderful. Sandesh Achrekar, Anil Nima. Great. Thank you very much. I'm really happy on a working day evening. You all have gathered to listen to our, rant. All right. Anyway, thank you very much. And I Shiv Shankar Reddy saying, good evening. Wonderful. Thank you very much. For those who are not familiar with Pixel Village is an online photography education portal. My name is Radha Krishnan. I've been a commercial photographer and currently, kind of signed up to run Pixel Village and talk about photography and, trying to create a photography community here. We have a YouTube channel, which is where you're watching this live, and we also have an online photography education website. All right, and B saying huge respect, been a subscriber since the beginning of Pixel Village. Thank you very much. I can't thank you people enough. And yes, we have a lot to talk today. I have 10,000 questions here, which are all collected from various photographers. And we have just 1 hour, and Arjun is a very busy man. So I am going to get this evening's guest. He's not a guest, he's actually a good friend of mine, and happy that I know him. And he's going to be here. I'm going to be sitting aside and just asking questions. It's his turn. He's going to be doing all the talking, and he's pretty good at that too. All right. So without any delay, let me invite a friend, photographer, Arjun, onto the screen. Hi, Arjun. Good evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening. It is good to be here. Let me say before we start, I love your setup, and that's what I was telling you before this call. I'm getting major FOMO right now because your setup. My God, man, you look gorgeous. You look so good. I know you're a very good-looking man in real life, and I know we've shared a lot of moments together. But my God, you look so good.
Hey, thank you very much. So let me give all that credit to Godox. Okay, and today, I managed to light the set using Godox lights. There is a key light, which is almost like a butterfly light position. That's SL200. My kick light, which is this one here. Unfortunately, I can't kind of turn my camera around. That's VL200. That's a new baby. And I have a TL160, one of those new tubes. Those.
The tubes. Yeah, I'm waiting for mine.
Brilliant. We're working on a review on that. So that's what I'm using. There are a couple of practicals. There's a small table lamp and a pedestal lamp on which side is it? Yeah, this side. Yeah. And that's what the look is all about. Thank you very much, yeah, for appreciating this. And today's evening, I can't thank Godox enough for sending these stuff here. Some of them belongs to the studio. The TL160 is it's come for a review, so it'll go back. So yeah, that's what we are doing. Thank you very much. Yeah, and of course, I'm using you'll be happy to know that I'm also using a Fuji camera.
As am I right now. So as am I think that's the one thing I've done correctly so far. But I think, this is a good time for me to point out that, look, a professional photographer like Radha sir, I think knowledge of light is everything. I mean, he has used his knowledge of light to, create this fantastic set that he's sitting in. So light is not just about, shutter speed and exposures and lighting, your subject. It's also about lighting a set. And I think that's what Radha sir has done brilliantly. I mean, there's so much to learn here, sir. Just looking at your set right now, there's just so much to learn.
Acha, by the way, Arjun, this is what I do. This graying is it's a white dye. Basically, I do it only for interviews. So please call me Radha. That'll be fantastic. You make me sound like I'm a dinosaur or something. Wonderful. Great. So Arjun, it's over to you. I'll be around. I'm going to kind of give you the big screen, and please take over. I would like you to please explain for the benefit of our viewers what you do, and how you do it. And I'd also definitely would like to see some images that are shot from you. I've seen them, but I would like the viewers to see them. And we'll also quickly chat about the kind of equipments that you use, because that's everybody would like to definitely know about that. And then we will get into the main topic of this evening's session, which is about the business of photography. And I have a ton of questions ready for you.
Sounds good. So, happy to answer any questions anybody has. I think all of you, anyone who's been on a session with me in the past, that I answer everything straight from the heart, and I try and make it as simple as possible. So, but before we get into all of that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Arjun Kartha. I run a photography company called Together Studios. I've been a photographer for maybe 18, 19 years now. It's been a long journey, of which I think 12 or 13 years has been in the wedding industry. So I was one of those people who entered the wedding industry probably at the right time, at the right place. Yeah. And it was completely by accident, but that's a long story in itself, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. Now, what I'll do is this. I have a small, presentation of sorts, which I put together. It is so much easier for me to, to walk you through things instead of, trying and, talking about myself, because I'm very bad at that. So, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to try and launch this window if I can. And then what we'll do is I'll just walk you through a recent project that we did. This was for Fujifilm, and it was a fun project, and we got some great images from it. And I think that would be a good place to start from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Okay, sorry, small technical issue here. I think I need to enable permissions, which I'm going to do right now.
Sure.
And
okay, so while you do that, I'll quickly see who all are here. Okay. And Adarsh Uday Shankar from Erimapeti. I mean, you were there last time too. Hi, Adarsh. Brutal Boy, my God, that sounds like you're a gamer. I'm sure you are. I'm just doing a Sherlock Holmes here. But Raja Sarkar, you from? Me from? You from? Who? Well, I'm from Pune. Raja, where are you from? Nomadic Eye, good evening. Javed Sarwar and Vivek Joshi, good evening, Colonel Saab. Yep, I have your screen. So there you are. When you start, hit play, I'll share it.
Okay, hang on. Okay, I've hit play.
Yeah. So what happens is when you hit play, you will lose the entire screen. You'll be blinded by your presentation, but you are there, and I am here too. So,
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So the screen is the first big images on the screen now.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is we had a small chat about this before this call, and I think we had recently done a project for Fujifilm using the new GFX 100 camera. And what I've done is I've sort of taken my 10 most favorite
100S.
100S, sorry, the GFX 100S camera, and I've taken my 10 most favorite images from the shoot, and I'm going to try and break down what it is that we did and how did we make it. But before I get into all of that, obviously, I want to introduce myself. I gave you a very half-baked introduction before this. My name is Arjun Kartha. Like I said, I started a company called Together Studios along with my partner Prerna way back in 2008, which was what, 12-ish years ago. So it's been a long time. I also started what is called the Wedding Photographers Association of India. This is an attempt to bring together the wedding photography community across India. And I think we currently have a very large membership base of more than 10,000 people across the country. I am also a Fujifilm and Godox ambassador. So most of the images, in fact, not most, but all the images that you see in the next couple of minutes will all have been shot on Fujifilm using Godox lights. And last but not the least, believe it or not, I am actually a computer engineer. Okay, by training and by education, I am a computer engineer. Unfortunately, for me, one of the only one thing I took away from my engineering, way back in 2003, was that I, did not want to be an engineer after that. And I'm probably one of those people who was very, very lucky to wind up doing what it is that they love doing, and I've not regretted a moment of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this GFX project. Now, before I start, I'm not going to show you too much. I'm just going to show you 10 images. And what we'll do then is we'll open it up for questions, and I'll try and answer everything that you've got. Now, when Fuji came to me and they said, you know what, we got this amazing new camera. It's 100 megapixel and you can do all these fantabulous things with it. Now, my first thought was, oh my God, 100 megapixels. I mean, that's way too much, right? It's way too much. What on earth am I going to do with 100 megapixels? But the thing with me is I'm not really, I mean, even though I'm an engineer, I'm not really a very technical person. I don't go into, megapixels and bits and this and that and all. For me, it's all about how a camera feels. I mean, how does it feel? How do you hold it? What are the kind of images that you can make with it? What does it inspire you to do? I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. So when they gave me this technical marvel and said, go shoot with it, I said, okay, what do you want me to do? And so Fuji, to their absolute credit, said, you know what, Arjun, we're not going to influence you. Do whatever you want. Okay, do whatever you want. Do a project, and we'll help you. And that sort of put me in a quandary. And I said, okay, ab kya kare, ab kya banaye? So honestly, I look back at what I enjoy doing, and for me, weddings are all about emotions. It's all about that intangible feeling of joy, that feeling of energy, that feeling of happiness, that feeling of sadness when a bride is about to leave her home and go to a new place. So what I thought was, let me try and create a project around, what a bride must go through during those final moments before she has to leave her dressing room and walk down the aisle, as they love to say in the movies, and marry her true love. So that is something that has been my bread and butter, okay, for years. And it's something that always makes me very, very excited, to walk into a bride's room and be a part of that, that environment where she's happy, she's sad, she's excited, and there's so much going on, right? So that's what we did. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bunch of images that we made. Okay, now here's the first one. Now, for me, a bride is all about creating portraits. It's about creating a strong visual palette, which sort of, which takes your breath away, because that's the one day that she's looking her most gorgeous self. Right. So this image is one of my favorites. Okay, which is why I always show this as the first image. And it's one of my favorites because this is my color palette. This is the color palette that I truly love. Okay, I mean, I love warm tones. I love backlit images. Okay, if you look at my work and if you've been following me for a while, you'll see that a lot of the work that I do is backlit. I always go for strong sources of light behind my subject. Now, in this case, there's a lot of technical, wizardry that's gone into making this image. But so I'll just tell you what we've done. So this bride is lit by a Godox AD200, nothing fancy, with just a little small grid on top of it. But what you see behind her, that's all been created. So there are very few opportunities where we can actually create a set. In wedding photography, you have to, do what it is that is given to you. You work on the set that's given to you, but here we've actually created this entire thing. So all the light that you see coming in, those rays of sun that you see coming in, that's all being created with Godox lights. We've used, I think, 4 300-watt lights behind the window to create those rays of light, and we sort of blasted the set with light, and then we released a little bit.
It looks so natural.
It does, right? It looks exactly like sunlight, but I mean that was the
Absolutely.
idea. The intent was to make it look like sunlight, but it's all light that we put there to create that effect. So in this, is only one flashlight that's been used. It's only one flash, which is the light that's illuminating the subject, that's on her face. Everything else is continuous light. So these are all 300-watt VL 300-watt lights that have been kept all over the place, and they're doing that job. So that's how this image was created. I mean, the idea always behind photography is to make it look as natural as possible, and that's what we've done here. Okay, now here's something else. Now, so now this image is this is one of those images that happens so often in a bride's dressing room. There's a makeup artist present, and the job of that makeup artist is to make the bride look beautiful. And they're always doing something. They're spraying something.
1 second, Arjun.
Yes. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Can you use the mouse and click hide? There's a band right in the middle. Just click hide.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try. So
it's running all over the place.
Yeah, my mouse only is
it's there on right on top. Yeah, it's coming close. Anyway, if it's difficult, ignore it. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you're close. Yeah, you're very close.
I can't see it though.
A little to the left in there.
Left? More?
Yeah, little more. Yeah, there you are. Just click. Oh, so you no. You stop sharing it.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back to share.
You can go back, and once you share, click play, and once you click play, just click on that hide button. All right.
Hold on. Getting Inception.
Yeah,
okay, so
there you are.
But I still can't see my mouse.
Okay.
So
yeah, just hide. That's it.
Is the mouse in the right place?
Yeah, little slightly down, please. That's it. Click now. Yep. Oops, that's gone again. All right. Go back. Let's bring it back, please. I'm sorry, friends. We were trying to make the image a little cleaner, but anyway, this is just hit play, please. Yeah, we can see. Hit play, please.
Okay, there's an Inception going on right now. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. Okay, so here we go. So we're back. And so this is one of those times, when a bride is getting ready, the makeup artist is always doing something. They're putting some spray, they're putting some powder, they're putting all sorts of foundations. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things in the air. But this spray shot is something that I wanted to try with 100 megapixels. Okay, so now it's not apparent in this image right here. But if you actually, click on zoom into this image, it shows you every single dot. It's mind-blowing the amount of detail that is captured in this one image. Every single dot, every single, little droplet of that spray bottle has been captured by the GFX 100, and it's mind-blowing. Okay, now this is one of those. I captured a series of father-daughter moments. Okay, so for me, part of this project was to sort of explore that relationship between a father and his daughter. This is one of those moments where it is sad but happy. It is bittersweet yet amazing. It's one of those moments where, because as a father, obviously every father wants his daughter to have the best possible wedding, but also he is acutely aware of the fact that his little girl, his little girl is going away permanently to someone else's house. So it's this moment which is both happy and sad. So this is that one moment when a father walks into a bride's room and sees her for the first time, and we wanted to capture that surprise and that amazement, to see your daughter dressed up like that, dressed up like a queen. That was that moment. So it was just too good to resist, and we were able to get this image.
Wonderful.
No, obviously, this is something that always happens. Girls, they cannot resist. Okay, so whenever the father or the groom or the brother walks in, they have to always change something. Okay, either the tie is not correct or the buttons are not done up properly, and this always happens. Believe it or not, it always happens. And it's also a great moment, because for the father, he's just blown away. He's standing there, he's looking at his daughter, he's looking at her look gorgeous. He's blown away, and this is always a great moment between a father and a daughter that always deserves to be captured. And as a wedding photographer, like I said, this is our bread and butter, and we're always waiting for it to happen. And eventually what it actually winds up into is, where, see, every bride wants to know, am I looking good? Am I looking bad? What do you think? Am I looking beautiful? And the answer always is yes. You're looking gorgeous. So this is one of those, by the dad holding the mirror up, and he's showing her that you look so gorgeous and you look beautiful, and she's looking at her own reflection and smiling, while her dad is looking indulgently at her and marveling at the fact that his little daughter is a bride today. She looks like a queen. This is one of those images that was very, very powerful for us, and we wanted
this is I can see your advertising influence here. And that almost looks like a jewelry ad here. Amazing. Brilliant.
All those years. So then we wanted to move on to the emotional side of it. So this is where that bittersweetness, that sadness, that sudden panic, that I'm leaving this house and going to another, and almost every single wedding I go to, I always see this, that the bride, before she has to go, she has tears in her eyes, and they're not tears of joy, they're not tears of sadness either. It's somewhere in between, and that is what the meaning of this word in English called bittersweet. It's bitter, it's sweet, it's happy, it's sad, it's everything together. So now she's crying, but it doesn't mean she's sad. So, but it does mean that this is a very, very emotional moment for the bride. And again, having a camera that is able to quickly get into these scenes and shoot images with amazing detail, I think that is what
and speed.
And speed, definitely autofocus and all of that. So, for example, if you see in this image, the dad is looking at the bride, and this is that one moment when he's got tears in his eyes, and he's feeling proud. He's feeling proud. He's feeling happy. He's feeling, really, really, feeling amazed at the fact that his daughter is going and she's getting married, and she's looking at him, and he's looking at her probably for the last time when she's still single before she gets married. So, it's a very, very important moment in all of that. So now I'm just going to show you a couple more images. Now, at the end of the day, I am a portrait photographer, right? I cannot help it. Everything that I do is about creating portraits. And this image is my favorite color palette. It's got yellows, it's got blues, and it's got magentas and warm tones together. So the sky that day in Delhi, sometimes we are blessed with some amount of clouds. Sometimes. So we had a bit of clouds in the sky that evening. So we were able to then, or rather I was able to then, sort of expose this image in such a way, using a flash, and expose it for the sky and bring all these tones together. So, again, I must say that these mustard fields were a gift at the last moment of the place that we were shooting in. We realized that there are mustard fields just, across the road, and we were able to go there and quickly make some pictures at sunset. So this is one of those shots. One of my favorite shots from this exercise, and I think it came out really well. Last few images. Now here again, this scene had become completely dark. Okay, so once the sun set, the venue that we were shooting at, it was a very dark venue. There was very little light, and most people would have then said, okay, let's pack up and go home because there's not much we can do. But I knew there's still something that was there, and I wanted to try something different. So this is what we call a slow shutter portrait. I've reduced the shutter in such a way to create drag. We are dragging the shutter, and I asked the bride to twirl and give me a moment, and that's what we've done. So we've frozen her expression using flash, And the fact that she's twirling, you can see that the lehenga is sort of blurred. So this is giving motion to the picture. So we are able to yet freeze her face using flash. So it takes a bit of practice to get this technique right. It's called dragging the shutter,
Yep.
I think a couple of tries. It took me a couple of tries to get this, and it didn't. I think this was the third or the fourth picture I took, and I had to really guess where she's going to be when I'm pressing the shutter, because when you press the shutter and the shutter actually finishes exposing the shot, the person has already turned a little bit, so I had to guess a little bit and get my timing right. But I think this worked out really well. So again, the GFX worked really well over here. 100 megapixels, all that data, all that. In fact, I would even say that the sensitivity of the camera, the sensor, the fact that you can almost use it like a regular DSLR and get these kind of images. I mean, that's amazing. And the reason I say this is because I have the baggage of all the old school medium format cameras. Like if you had a Hasselblad or something and you put it, it's very difficult to take pictures like this, or a phase one. I mean, rather, sir, I'm sure you like me. It's very difficult to take pictures
absolutely.
with those other medium format cameras. So I was really amazed at this one. Again, I wanted to try how it performs in low light. Okay, now this image is obviously a mixture of flash as well as ambient light. So what I did was I dimmed the scene completely. I made it look absolutely black, and we sort of feathered the flash a little bit so that there's only a beam of light coming out of it, and that's what we did. So her face is lit up by a beam of light. The rest of it is ambient light, and I think I bumped up the ISO quite a bit, maybe to ISO 1000 or something. But yet again, I mean, I was pretty surprised by the fact that even at low light, there's I mean, it didn't really have much noise in it, so it looked good. Again, like I said, building on that subject of emotions, what also happens at weddings many times is, the groom writes a letter to his bride to be. Many times it's a love letter. It's promises for the future. It's promises of life together, and it's one of those really amazing emotional moments that make up for a wedding. So we wanted to create that scene as well. So this is the bride's received a letter and she's reading it, and the fact that I've been able to go to a really low angle and use the screen to tilt up and be able to get this shot. As a wedding photographer, I'm always crawling in weird places and going underneath tables and standing on tables and all sorts of things, and this is one of those shots. So that's basically it. I just wanted to show you a small selection of. I have many more pictures from the shoot, but these are some of my favorites. And this is what we did to sort of make this project happen. Like I said, we used the GFX 100S. I've forgotten the S there again. See, remember, I'm not a technical person. I always forget S's and P's and Q's, but it's the new one, the GFX 100S, the one that's lighter than the other GFX 100. These are the three lenses we use. The Fuji has some amazing lenses. I think that's one of the biggest advantages of shooting with Fuji. In this case, we use the 23, the 45, and the 110, and that gave me all the entire focal range to work with, and that was really good. Like I said, for the lighting, we use a lot of lights. Okay, like a lot of lights, but mostly all the images that you see are either the flash is either the Godox 8200 Pro, the small one, and the 8600, which is the larger one. And the 8600 is a beautiful light to work with. You have this big 120 softbox with a grid on it, and it gives you this beautiful, soft, amazing light that looks also good in almost every single image. And we use a whole bunch of VL300s to light up the set, and which is what is used to create those lights and whatnot. So there's a lovely video that we made from this shoot. So if you like the images, I really suggest that you go and see the video. I think the best place to see it would be on our Instagram channel, which is togetherstudios.in. I think we posted it maybe 10 days ago. So if you scroll down a little bit, it's also there. I think it's also there on YouTube. But I think finding it on Instagram would be the simplest thing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here, Radha, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And what we can do is I think we can then I think I've used up a lot of time already presenting these images.
Oh no, that's I mean there is the people who are really enjoying and appreciating this work. For me, I have seen this images probably because I really loved that film that you made. You shot that on XT4 or XT3?
Yes, the project that the film is completely shot on the XT4.
X-T4. So I saw that there was such cinematic, narration, lighting, everything was so perfect. I watched it many times, and I'm seeing the images in isolation without any other, like the background music or the camera or your narration, which was fantastic. Again, you were poetic. There are few. I usually don't get. I usually don't envy people. Usually, I've kind of managed to get over it, but there are times when I get envy. That was one of the occasions. In that video, watching that video was like that. It was a beautiful, well shot, well narrated, and well produced, put together. Music.
Thank you.
It all came together. So I really, really liked it. I'm sure our viewers are also in agreement with with it. I'd like to know where you all are from, because I just want to, I saw someone from Scotland signing in. I'd like to know where you all are from. So if you can quickly type in the comments column as to where you are from, that'll be wonderful. We will know, we will get an idea. All right, Sankalp Kample is asking, can we see raw images? Obviously, you cannot see a raw image. It's a data. You will require a software for it, and these are all finished retouched images. That's what we would like to share usually. So there are people from Varanasi, Bangalore, Kolkata, Kerala, Mumbai, Kochi, Hyderabad. We have from Jaipur, USA.
Wow.
From USA, Homie, I'm unable to pronounce his name. A little bit of a tongue twister. There is Homie. Well, sorry, probably that's his YouTube name. Then we have from Rohit Vijay from Philly. Hi, Rohit. How are you? Rohit, by the way, is a fantastic landscape photographer. Know him from long time. Philadelphia. There he is from Philadelphia. Then there is Meghnad from Chennai. Sainath from Boston. We have somebody, Jay Kona from Mars. Wonderful. Wow. So that's amazing. Somebody from Mars is also here, huh? Yeah. So
men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Oh yes. He just confirmed that he is a man. So that's what he was trying to do. Anu K. Peter from Kerala, RRJ from Karnataka, from Afghanistan. Wow, that's the first person from Afghanistan that we are getting in a live. That is Muhammad Sultani from Afghanistan. From Dwarka, Gujarat, we have Nagpur, Maharashtra. Wonderful. There is amazing, fantastic. When you have, I'm from Banswara. Where is that?
Maybe in Andhra.
Wada can be anywhere. Wada can be in Maharashtra. Okay, wherever you are from, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and thank you for appreciating Arjun's images. Wonderful. So we have a giveaway, okay, right at the end of the session. So I would like you to hold on, and also, it's sponsored by Godox. Let me show you what the giveaway is. It's those fantastic R1 light. Okay, the one which you're using at the backdrop is what we're going to give away at the end. All right, that's the one. That's a magic light. It works very well, and that's the one which you're going to give away. So the giveaway is it's a random pick. You need to stay till the end, and the best comment or the best question. It's random. It's not based on any. It's just we will announce at the end of the session, and we will try to send. What are you trying to do there? Some magic.
I'm just trying to demonstrate how good this light is. It's so portable.
Oh yes, it is.
I'm using it right now for a little bit of fill, but it's a really
nice. Absolutely. All right. So there is. A whole lot of people here. So you must definitely remember about this giveaway. All right. So now it's time to move on to our question. a couple of sessions, a couple of days back, I shared in our Facebook about, there are lots of photographers whom I meet. They have, while they all really like photography as a profession, they also have a lot of problems that they face, and they seldom get a good answer from an experienced person. And so we thought then we will ask an experienced person. So what I am going to be doing now is let me quickly share the screen of where is it? Where is my page? There it is. That's my. This is what we posted. So we asked this question in our page. Oh, there's so many interactions. So let me. Oops, there's so many interactions. So let me go to the top of the page. What is the biggest problem you faced as a photographer? Faced or facing? Okay, there were so many interactions, and lots of people had lots of interesting insights. So we got a lot of insights from it, and we actually, instead of we thought, instead of asking these questions all over again, we thought it'll be better if I put all those questions together and ask an expert. So in this case, Arjun, he's an immensely successful and talented photographer. He's also very articulate. That's the most important. I see a lot of successful photographers around. I see a lot of. Okay, so let me rephrase my question. I see a lot of good photographers around. Okay, they take very nice, good images. But I always feel that that's not enough, just enough to become a successful photographer. It's a combination of a lot of things. And Arjun, according to me, is an epitome of that, an example of that. He's put together his experience from a whole lot of avenues that he's been in, right from advertising. The influence of advertising is there, computer is there, though he is not admitting it. Definitely it's there. He speaks very well, he articulates very well, and of course he shoots brilliantly well too. So it is an amalgamation of all that. It's not just that he got this 100S and the next day onwards he started taking great pictures. That's not actually it is. So thank you once again, Arjun, for coming in. And I'm going to go ask the first question, which is directly related to equipment. He's saying there are lots of people, we buy a lot of equipment. Okay, not everyone buy equipment. They have a lot of they're excited. They all want upgrade, but at the same time, they're also complaining about the recurring cost of upgrades. What's your view on upgrading regularly or upgrading, buying equipment every time?
See, I'll answer this in two parts. Now, the camera manufacturers would okay, let me rephrase. Think of your iPhones and your Samsung, advertisements every year. Now, every year iPhone comes up with a new model. Okay, they come up with the 12, they come up with the 13 and 14 and 15, so on. Every year, without fail, there will be a new iPhone. Okay, and a new Samsung Galaxy or whatever have you. Now you will be bombarded by advertising, which will tell you that if you buy this new iPhone, you can make better phone calls. Okay, that's not what they tell you, right? But they will tell you that it's faster, it's better, it's got a better camera, it's got some better signal processing or something. So remember that this is, at the end of the day, the what is a phone for? A phone for is probably to make phone calls, right? And maybe to take some pictures as well. Intrinsically, there is no difference in the phone calls that you make between an iPhone 12 and iPhone 10 or even a Nokia 1100. So the short version of the answer here is don't fall for recurring equipment costs or upgrading your equipment every year just because it's there. If you need it, by all means buy it, and you will know when you need it if you are on the field and you feel hampered by something. Okay, you don't. Let's say, suppose you're a wildlife photographer and you want to shoot a bird, and the only lens that you have is a 70-300, or yeah, let's say a 24-70, and you're not able to get close enough to that bird, and you know that if you had a 300 millimeter or a 500 millimeter with a teleconverter, you'll be able to get closer. That's something you need because you have to have it. But changing your camera, changing lenses every year, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. Don't fall for it. You'll still be the same photographer you were the day before that, and just buy what you need, and everything else is marketing.
I resonate the same. But so there is also a feeling that equipments go obsolete very fast. Though I don't really agree, but this was one of the concern that it was there. So people have a feeling that if I don't have the latest,
the lenses that I have, and see, like today I'm a Fuji ambassador, so all I use is Fuji. But I remember when I first became a photographer many years ago, the Nikon equipment that I bought in the early 2000s. Believe it or not, it's still in my cupboard. It's fine. In fact, some of my second photographers use it. My colleagues use it, and they still use it today. So in fact, one 24-70, 70-200, these are lenses that I've had for more than 10-15 years, and even today it works fine. So as long as you take care of it, it will be fine.
So what do you think which makes someone, even if they don't require, what must be the reason why somebody wants to, go and acquire that new equipment, even if he doesn't want it? He's not even deliberate, and you don't even ask that question in his head.
Sir, there is something called gas. Okay, it's called gas. Okay, now, it's a technical term in the industry. If I am saying that I'm feeling very gassy, okay, I have a lot of gas. Okay, it doesn't mean that I'm,
I got to. Yeah,
what you're thinking, but it means gear acquisition syndrome. Okay, so gear acquisition syndrome is something that is very real. It's this constant need to keep buying, buy. If I buy this, I'll become a better photographer. If I buy that, I'll be a better photographer. It's all it's all bullshit. Pardon my French. It's not required. If you really need it, you will know.
But there is also this feeling that if I don't have the same equipment which my colleague or my the neighborhood photographer or my so-called competing photographer has, then I'm a lesser photographer. There is a feeling like that among people. What would you say to that? Do you agree to that at all?
No, not at all. I mean, this is something that I
do. You agree that there is a feeling like that?
There is a feeling like that. There's very much a feeling like that. I myself used to feel like that. Okay, I myself feel, I would say even sometimes, see, that is the thing about insecurities. Even today, after having spent so many years in this career, even today, there are times I look at an image someone has taken and I'm like, wow, I wish I had that camera, or I wish I had that opportunity, or I wish I had that, moment in time where I was in that place, I'm taking those pictures. Envy happens everywhere. And one of the easiest ways of assuring yourself that the reason why you are not doing something is because you don't have the camera to do it with. That is one of the easiest excuses that our brains makes up for us. It's all bullshit. Any camera nowadays, all cameras are very, very technically superior nowadays, and almost with any camera and lens combination, you can make amazing pictures. And and if someone is taking great pictures, it's not because of their camera. It's because of the skill they've had, of the training they've had, of the opportunities they've had, of the exposure they've had, and it's not because of their camera. I mean, it's like walking up to an author and saying your typewriter must be very good. That's why you you wrote such a great book. So it's exactly like that. It's not about the equipment at all. I strongly believe that.
Sure. So the net takeaway is that you must know what you really need and acquire only that, and upgrade is necessary whenever. I mean, when you really need it, that's the only time you should be upgrading. It should not be driven by your own insecurities. It should be driven by your real need to acquire new gear. All right.
Exactly.
The next one is when I was going through those questions, there were lots of fundamental questions, problems. We have fundamental problems like lack of motivation and things like that. There were a lot of technical ones, and there were a lot of occupational problems too. So this one is, I think, it's a lot to do with occupation. It says photographers don't really get the kind of respect that they deserve. This was one question, especially wedding photographers. Now, I'm sure you will beg to differ, but how would you? I mean, if somebody feels that I as a wedding photographer is not getting the kind of respect that I deserve, what's the way out? How do you? I mean, to such a person, what would you tell him or
See,
her?
the word to underline there is deserve. Okay, now I understand 100% where the person who asked this question is coming from. Now you have to look back historically. Now, wedding photography in India has grown as a service that used to be very, very transactional to the artistic service it is today. Now, let's say 20 years ago, most wedding photographers were, shall we say, operators. Okay, they were purely operating the camera. They were, you with your basic settings dialed in. It was basic operation of the equipment, which followed a blueprint, or let's say, you know that this photograph needs to be taken, this photograph needs to be taken, and harsh as it may sound, most people were performing as operators. Now, as operators, let's just say in the pyramid of photography, because there was not much artistic involvement in this, the amount of respect they probably got was not as much as, say, someone who was working on a more artistic level did. Now, all this has changed. Okay, now, which is why I'm saying the underline is on the word deserve. Now, remember, you are an artist. Okay, now, whether you're shooting weddings, whether you're shooting fashion, whether you're shooting, documentary, you are still an artist. And remember, you will get the respect you deserve when you think you deserve it. Okay, when you know you deserve it. Okay, and it's all inside you. So today, when I walk into a wedding, I walk in with my head held high and my shoulders squared, and I walk in very confidently because I know I am going there to. And the reason the client has hired me is because I am going to take the kind of images that nobody else can, or maybe very few people can. So I know that I have a unique skill set. I have a unique, shall we say, I bring something new to the table, and I know that people want that. Okay, so it is all about having the confidence in you to know that you are doing something different and not wait for that respect to be automatically showered on you, because it's never going to happen. Okay, the world doesn't work like that. Not for weddings, not for anything else. Okay, respect will come when you earn it. And there is no profession in the world which automatically gives you respect. I mean, if you think the president of India gets respect, yes, the president of India gets respect, but he has worked to become the president of India. That position comes with respect, not the person, right? The position has respect, so that it is all about the person. So as long as you are a person who commands respect, you will get it.
Absolutely, totally agree. Thank you for that. I mean, it's very, very. I mean, very, very serious situation, and you have kind of given a
which there is no politically correct answer to give you here. I would have done it otherwise, but the harsh reality is this: you will get respect as long as you earn it.
Yeah, and it you need to feel. I mean, no one else can help you but you, right? So so now these questions that I have noted down, they are not in a particular order or in group. Okay, so the question is about unhealthy competition. Okay, new photographers and also part-time photographers actually, getting into this business and probably offering a cheaper price and taking your client away and things like that. So to such people, I think there was a comment by this photographer, Alan Watson, from Scotland. He had, let me pull it on the screen. I'm a wedding photographer based in Irvine, Scotland. I was talking to an Indian wedding photographer about how saturated the photography market is. Everyone with a camera is a photographer. And there's one more. It says, this photographer just said to me, Ellen, remember, we are just small grains of rice in a very large curry. I will always remember that. So this is, by and large, this is the view. So what do you say about unhealthy competition, probably brought in by new photographers and part-time photographers?
Sir, my answer is so bloody what? Okay, so what? Okay, every profession in the world, okay, has competition from big and small players. Okay, just an example.
Absolutely.
Let's look at restaurants. Okay, now maybe 20 years ago, if you were to dine out in Delhi, maybe there were 20 restaurants you could go to, and that's it, right? And you go to those 20 restaurants, and all those 20 fellows were sitting like kings because they knew they were the only people who provided that service in that locality. But now everything has changed. Now on Zomato, you can sort by rating, you can sort by popularity, you can search for a dish, you can do anything, right? And the restaurant industry now is fully democratized. Okay, you've got big 5-star restaurants, and you've got small mom and pop, part-time home chefs, like a single mom working in her kitchen, making something for to sell, or even maybe a young girl from college, who's making cakes and selling it. It's amazing. And the same thing is happening in photography. So this is not bad. This is amazing. This is great. It goes to show that finally photography as a profession is reaching a point
It's maturing.
which is, yeah, it's maturing, and it's helping young people come in, and people with with lesser experience are able to make a few rupees here and there and succeed, and that's amazing. It's not bad. Okay, if you feel it's bad, you're one of those dinosaurs who is sitting on a rock thinking that he is the king. Okay, and that meteor
Yes.
that is coming slowly from outer space, that meteor doesn't exist. My friend, wake up and smell the roses. That meteor will come and smash you on the head. Okay, and before
It's
you know
smashed
it,
already.
you're finished. Okay, so
Yeah.
never ever blame other people for, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to be very blunt and direct. Never blame new people or competitors or younger people coming into the market for your inefficiencies and your failures. It's not a good, it's not a, it's never helpful. If you think that there is any industry in the world where you can just sit and continue to be king, and and new people are not going to come and try and take your kingdom away from you, then sorry, my friend, you're mistaken. It doesn't exist. Even today, I might have 18 years of experience sitting here, but I know that my clients are looking for someone younger, someone cheaper. Why not? And that's how the world works.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants
Yeah.
cheaper. Like today, when I'm browsing on Zomato and I see one butter chicken. Sorry, I'm using the Zomato example again and again. But I see one butter chicken for 500. Sorry, I love butter chicken. Okay, so I'm going to use the butter chicken example. I see one butter chicken for 500 rupees being sold by this amazing, established restaurant. But I see this another butter chicken for 300 rupees, and it looks good. It looks good. The photo looks good. Why not? So
Yeah.
the answer to all of this, the answer here, the takeaway here is stay relevant. Okay, you need to have your pulse on the market. You need to stay relevant. You need to accept that change is inevitable, and you need to make sure that the product that you're selling, the service that you're offering, is relevant. People want it, and people are willing to pay for it. As long as you are unique and you are the product that you're offering is so different from those newcomers who are coming and trying to take the business away from you, you're solid.
Wonderful. That's a serious piece of advice. Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, so like I told you, the questions are not in any particular order. So this beginner photographer who wants to get into photography is complaining about lack of opportunities for a beginner.
Yes. I mean, no doubt there is a lack of opportunity. I'm not going to, I'm not going to try and gloss over that one. It's true. Okay, there is a lack of, and this is actually the flip side of the coin. So just what we were talking about before this, about all these younger photographers who are coming and disrupting the market, it is disrupted, yes. Which means that all those young people are now looking at those opportunities where, either the client is budget conscious or, let's say entry level work and things like that. There is no doubt it is difficult, but it is exactly, this is the flip side of the coin. So the same way the established players are complaining about younger people and inexperienced people coming and taking away their work, the flip side also applies where those inexperienced people and those younger people, there's so many of them that there's not much work to go around. So it's true. The answer is still the same. I mean, if you want work and if you want people to notice you, you bloody well get become good. I mean, become great, shoot something different. I mean, I know this sounds it's all words, right? I mean, it sounds very easy to say. Arjun is saying become good. What does that become good mean, right? I mean, it's empty advice. But what this really means is that, look, you have to look at why you decided to become a photographer in the first place. What is it that you like shooting? What is it as an artist? What is it that you want to make? And if you find that genre, let's say, suppose I like shooting cars, okay, and I just start shooting cars for fun, and I make amazing pictures of cars that no one has done before. That will automatically make me get noticed, and that will automatically give me work. And this is, this truth bomb is applicable across every industry, across every genre, and absolutely. That's just how it works, and that's how the world works.
So that leads us to the next question. Is about so photography is an art. You said we are all artists, but wedding as a photographer, as it's also a business. So this person is saying, I am not really good at business. So what do you do to improve the business side of you? I have the best camera. I can shoot very well, but how do I run my business? I mean, how do I learn? Where do I learn from? What are the things that I should be worried about or take care about or try to learn about? Where do I get it from?
YouTube. Okay. The answer is
Wonderful.
YouTube. Okay. Again, see, you have to remember that photography is intrinsically a hobby. Now, if you look at 100% of all the photographers in the world, 95% of photographers are doing it part-time as a fun thing to do, right? You are working in your job Monday to Friday. Saturday ko chalo kahin park mein chalte hain, koi photo lete hain, and that's what most people do. For that, you don't need business because you're doing it for fun. But the moment you create an invoice, okay, and you create an invoice and you're giving it to your client, now you are doing business. This is business, right? It's a professional activity. So if you want to succeed, you have to learn, and that doesn't mean you become Tata or Birla or some expert in stock market and equities market and derivatives and Bitcoin trading. It doesn't mean all of that. It just means that watch how you are spending your money, watch how you are saving your money, and how you are growing. It's as simple as that. And honestly, sometimes I feel that maybe a housewife sitting at home who's managing her, without sounding sexist, sorry, but let's say a housewife sitting at home managing the household budget, I think they are better businessmen than all of us, because it's all about money in, money out, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So don't think of this business as some complicated thing for which you need an MBA and you need all of that. Nothing. It's just about growing your money. It's about managing your money and making sure you are investing some of it in marketing and making yourself look as good as you can, and that's it. It's as simple as that.
Wonderful. And next one is about creative block. Have you ever got into one?
Yes, all the time.
All the time. What do you do? So that was the next question. What do you do when you get into this creative block, which photographers, any creative person kind of comes through at least once in their life, but they go through that. So how do you handle that? And how do you get out of that? And if it has happened to you, what did you do?
Sir, I think it happens to me every week. I think it happens to me all the time. And there are many times I'm sitting
that's next. So then you're finding an excuse for a beer, I think.
Yes, always. Getting drunk always helps remove every creative block there is. But on a serious note, apart from the alcohol, the idea is to see what is a creative block. A creative block is basically a lack of inspiration. Okay, that's all there is to it. You have to understand what it is. So it is your brain basically telling you that, listen, mera dukaan band hai, I'm not working. Okay, I don't want to work today. My shutter is down. It's your brain telling you that. So basically, the best way to do it is to nurture your brain. Okay, you nurture it with either good literature or good music or anything that you find inspiring. Okay, as long as you feed your brain some food, okay, something that food for thought. What they say is food for thought. As long as you do that, you will see your roadblock and your lack of inspiration just melting away. Okay, and for me personally, what I do is I look at, I either see a really good movie. Movies are great. Okay, movies are great ways of and I'm not talking about your typical blockbuster movie. I'm talking about art movies or movies of any subject that you like, which has great camera work and great lighting and great scripting and great acting, all of that. So either watch a really good movie, that always helps, or read a good book, or nothing else, just listen to music. Close your eyes, sit in a dark room. Okay, either if you have a good pair of headphones, put on your headphones and just lose yourself in the music for 30 minutes. Listen to something that you really like, and I guarantee you, 100%, the moment you come out of that, you're going to be like, yes, all right, I'm ready for
All right.
action.
Absolutely. I mean, a good movie, a good novel, a good food, maybe,
Yeah.
an evening with friends, relaxed, evening with friends and all can probably bring, help. At that point, I want to quickly take a small break and show people, what we do at Pixel Village, with your permission, Arjun. And so this is what we do at Pixel Village. It's a website. Pixel Village is a website where we have some of the finest photography mentors. Oh, so let me show who our mentors are. These are some amazing people, great photographers and photography teachers teaching photography. Okay, and we have classes here. If you click on these courses, you have lots of live sessions. This is something which just got over. It's a live interactive webinar. We have sessions on, studio photography, wedding photography, studio lighting, fundamentals, fashion, so many subjects. And this is what we do. So if you are interested in learning photography online, this is a fantastic, place to be. Take a look at it. Sign up today, and any purchases that you make in April, you stand to win, an AD100 Pro. One person will get an AD100 Pro as lucky. It's kind of a lucky dip. Okay, so please take a look at our website. It's called pixelvillage.com. We also have an app, and the app is again available only on Android. Pixel Village. Just look at Pixel Village on a Play Store, and you will find it. Please install it, and anything that you can see on the website is also available in the app. So I request you to kind of explore what is possible. All right. I want to also, we'll come to the questions which are asked in the Q&A session. I mean, we'll come to that. Before that, I want to kind of finish asking these questions that I already have. The next question is about shrinking budgets of the client, especially during COVID and after COVID. Clients have a reason now to kind of, give you an excuse saying that paisa nahi hai, paisa kam hai, or my, function is small, so charge less. But I still want, Lord of the Rings production. But my budget is for some, some probably some horror movie production. So, well, how do you answer that?
So, see, again, now I think this is a game of negotiation. Okay, it all depends on how unique your product is. Now, I'll give you an example. Now, let's say during lockdown and just after lockdown, most of the hotel industry went kaput. Okay, sales were down, all the tourists were out. Most hotels were struggling to survive. Yet there were some hotels. Okay, now I'll give you an example. There's a hotel called ITC Grand Bharat near to Delhi, and believe it or not, through October, November, and December, okay, they were sold out, 100% sold out. Okay, now, I mean, you might wonder why. Now, this was because of 2, 3 reasons. I think they were lucky, but basically, it was very close to Delhi. It was a resort property. It was like a getaway. So all the people who were working from home, okay, they wanted to get away somewhere, and the ITC Grand Bharat close to Delhi was the closest 5-star, shall we say, destination property that you could drive to within 1 hour. Okay, so suddenly, overnight, okay, in Delhi, it became a rage, and almost anybody was driving out to ITC Grand Bharat and staying there. So they didn't lose a single rupee, and they were very, very popular, okay, throughout the year, and they made lots of money. Now, the example here is that it depends on what your position is. Okay, now while the other hotels like Taj and Oberoi and all the other hotels were cutting their rates 50%, 60%, 70% in an attempt to keep business, ITC Grand Bharat was increasing their rates, okay, to 120%, 150%, and they made a lot of money. So the takeaway here is that, do you have a product that's unique? If it is, okay, stick to it. Okay, if you know that what you are doing, only you can do. Okay, if you are creating the kind of images that only you can make, then for sure, stick to your rates. If you feel that, if you're not that confident and you feel that, maybe it's not, which we all do, I mean, me included, I mean, who is that confident in life? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, who can be that confident? But the point is that don't reduce prices just because your client is telling you. Okay, client will tell. See, the client's job is to do due diligence. I mean, at the end of the day, when I am going to purchase something, if I'm going to Chroma or Jumbo or something and I'm buying a TV, I am going to negotiate, right? I mean, obviously, we are Indians. Negotiation is in our blood. Which person will walk up to a shop or whatever and say, just take the money, take my money, take everything? Nobody does that. Everyone negotiates. So do our clients. So it is the client's responsibility and due diligence to ask you for a discount. It is your responsibility to say no. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So if stay. Sorry, is that me?
No,
I could hear. Is the disturbance is not me, right?
no, there was no disturbance.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So my bad. So yeah. So it is your, So if your client is asking for a discount and COVID discount and all of that, say no. It's your responsibility to say no, or just play the game. I mean, it doesn't matter. Play the game. Mark up your price by 10%, reduce it by 10%. Simple. So see, these are all things that you have to do to stay relevant, and this is all part of that game that every single client loves to play. It's called negotiation. It's called Indian Jugaad. Okay, it's the country that we live in. It's in our blood. It's in our culture. Okay, we love to negotiate. So it's just a game. Don't take it personally. Just because someone is asking you for a discount, it is not a reflection on you. It is not a reflection on your photography. It is just Indians being Indians. Okay, and that is how we are.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. Now that you've talked about the budget and all that, how do you convince the client? I mean, that's another art, right? Negotiating is fine, but how do you convince them about the fact that you need to pay so much for me, or you need to spend so much because I can't do it with just 2 people? I need a drone. I need, I need all the paraphernalia to cover the event like the way you want. So how do you convince? I mean, let's assume that you're talking. Yeah, please.
I was just going to say that. So one of the things that I've learned a long time ago is never to get into specifics. Okay, never to get into components. Okay, so as Together Studios, we never get into saying that we need 3 photographers, we need 4 cameras, we need 5 lights, we need 1 drone. Nothing. Okay, it is all about the work. It is all about the experience. It is all about the fact that as a team we are well known. We are a strong brand. We are a value for money brand. I mean, we are a little expensive, but for that money you get great value. So one of the things I've always learned is the moment you open it up to specifications, okay, that is where you are now on a back foot, and then you have to start justifying those specifications. What if I say that, okay, I'm going to charge you, let's say, 1 lakh rupees, and I need to charge you 1 lakh rupees because I'm bringing 4 photographers and 4 videographers. I'm just saying theoretically. Now, what the client will say is, all right, team maker. And you know that you need 4 to guarantee that quality. So the moment you start breaking it up into components, everyone loves details. Okay, every I mean, I can't tell you the number of times clients have said, please give us a breakup, please give us a breakup, but we always say no, no breakup. It is an assignment fee, it is a package fee. Whether I deliver it with 10 photographers or with 10 monkeys or with 10 dogs and cats with cameras on them is my job. Okay, and I guarantee that the end result will be exactly like the end result that we are showing you and the kind of portfolio that we have, and that's all there is to it. And that's what we do, and it's worked well for us in the past. And I think it's a good way to handle these questions.
I must quickly tell you about a small story that I've heard. A colleague, but a senior photographer who used to do a lot of automobile photography, was asked the same question. He never used to give any breakups. Say he needs to shoot a car. This is my cost. This is one fee for delivering so many images. So this client, insisted on a breakup. So he said he gave a breakup. I need to know what the production is about. So he let's assume that he quoted 100 rupees for the job. He said 99 rupees is my fee and 1 rupee is production. So that's how it is. So obviously there were no way someone can question him. Yeah, so it's about experience, about what you're delivering, and of course the way that you're going to, the moment you give a leeway for the client to start negotiating with you, then obviously he's going to do that. All right, so the next one is about where do you go for as a budding photographer, which is the right place to go for guidance, support, and appreciation?
Pixel Village. No doubt about it. In fact, I must also say that answer I made about lack of inspiration, apart from the music, I think also looking at Pixel Village videos and looking at Radha sir's amazing, explanations and breakdowns, I think that's one of the best ways also to go and do all of that.
Sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I was not actually hunting for this appreciation, but thank you anyway. Okay, what's the best way to promote? I mean, now, see, the Facebook and the Instagrams have really become very tough now, because it used to be it used to be very comfortable. To promote yourself was relatively easy, probably a year and a half back, but after COVID, I've seen a great change in the way the social media promoted work, or organically. How important is this in the digital age? How important is business promotion through digital medium? How can you do it? I know I'm not asking for a solution, but
see, I would say yes and no. It's not essential, but it's also useful. Okay, now the reason I'm saying yes and no is because I have seen so many shall we say photographers and studio owners. Some of the most successful people I know, they're not on Instagram. Okay, or rather, even if they're on Instagram, they barely post anything. Okay, all of their success comes from word of mouth. It comes from client recommendations. It comes from reading the newspaper and seeing their name there, and not from digital. So all I'm saying is that don't fall for this entire shall we say pressure that is on us nowadays, that social media is everything. It's not. Okay, social media is definitely one part of it. I mean, even if I think we look at ourselves, Together Studios, I mean, we are moderately successful on social media. I think we have some maybe 40,000 odd followers on Facebook, and maybe some 2 lakh followers, 40,000 followers on Instagram, and maybe some 2 lakh followers on Facebook. But I mean, there are people with much more, right? And honestly, I don't think that really does much for us. I mean, it's definitely important to have an online, shall we say, footprint, but it's not the only way. Yeah, it's not the only way. So I think at the end of the day, the good old strategy of just doing good work and having people talk about you to their friends and family, that never fails. Okay, so instead of someone posting it on Facebook saying this person is great, if I meet someone and tell them face to face, that face to face discussion is so much more valuable than Instagram comment or something. I mean, it really is. So, and I genuinely mean this. I mean, if you look at some of India's most popular photographers and production houses, they're not even there on Instagram. They rarely post, once in 15 days, once in 60 days, and that's it. So don't ever feel,
Okay.
so unless you are an influencer, like let's say suppose your bread and butter is to be a social media influencer, then yes, it's important to be on social media all the time. But if you're not, and if your job is to make pictures, then don't worry about it.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much. So please, guys, please don't stress on, how many followers you have. If what you want to be is a good photographer, spend time developing your art and showcase that for sure. And if best is, like he said, which will never fail, is a word of mouth recommendation. So build good clients and build good client relations. So that will give you a better results than trying to spend all your time and effort and money on developing a marketing strategy based around social media and Instagram. So that's social media now for the time being, at least. Okay. And there was an incident in Bangalore where a client sued a photographer, okay, for not delivering a product. I mean, so I think the newspaper items, I don't know the specifics of the incident, but mota it meant that the client did not receive some 3-4 rituals. He couldn't kind of deliver, and the client went to consumer court and won the case, and the photographer had to spend about to kind of give back 55,000 rupees, Indian rupees, to the client. Now, I don't know the specifics of the case, but I heard that it is non-delivery. Correct? I mean, it can be due to bad photography. It can be due to damaged data. So many things. So what? I mean, in such a kind of a scenario, I mean, this is a possibility. What do you? Is there anything that, as a photographer, what are the safeguards that you can take, both in terms of your work ethics and also your workflow?
See, honestly, if you ask me, Radha, that guy, I also don't know much. I also only saw the newspaper article. But if you ask me, that person got away very cheaply. Okay, only 55,000 rupees. In fact, look, if you think about it, that is hardly a penalty or a dent in anyone's. I mean, let's face facts. Had this been another country with more, shall we say, stronger consumer laws, maybe let's say the US or Europe, that person would be out of business today. Okay, they would not be able to continue any longer, and they would probably be searching for another job. So I think in India they got away very lightly. But see, the matter here is that as wedding photographers, it is our professional duty to hang on to those memories. Okay, because unlike a fashion shoot or unlike any other shoot which can be restaged and reshot, in the wedding industry, you can't reshoot anything. If a moment is gone, it's gone. You can't ask the person to get married again. So I think the answer here essentially is in backup. Okay, there is no shortcut to what we call a 3-2-1 backup. Everything that you shoot should be in minimum of 3 places. Okay, now remember, if this is your data, the first version is not a backup, that's a copy. Okay, and after this, the next version, that's a backup. Okay, so there has to be data in 3 places at all times. And now this is expensive. Okay, now this is not cheap, because let's say suppose you're budgeted for 1 hard disk, you will need to buy 3 hard disks instead. If you're budgeting for 100 GB of space, you need 300 GB instead, and so on and so forth, right? But at the end of the day, this is critical, because this is what we have to do to avoid a situation like this. And I remember recently you had posted an excellent review of the NAS system, like a network attached storage. I think that is one of the ways to do this. We use Synology in the office ourselves, and
that was a Synology NAS itself.
So we use, we have 3 big Synology boxes in the office, and I think so. Again, I'm not very technical, but what I believe NAS does is that it keeps your data twice, so the chances of data loss is mitigated by a large extent. So at the end of the day, I mean, without going into too much detail, what we do is we have 3 copies of every data. One is, let's say, on a primary backup location. The second is on the NAS, and the third is in the cloud. So everything that we shoot is in 3 places altogether, and it's a lot of work. But I think I don't want to see the day where I say, "Oh, thank God we did that." So we have the backup. I don't want to see that day. I'm happy, but if that day does come, we know we are reasonably secure.
Well, so at this point, I just want to quickly tell our viewers that we're going to be back with similar discussion next week, next Tuesday, 6th April, with Ramit Batra, another very successful wedding photographer from Delhi. And he's going to be here discussing, as a continuation of this, he's going to be discussing more about contracts and more about, how to look at the legal side of, protecting your intellectual property. I mean, all the rights. I mean, in India, we are not really aware of these kind of, devices. So Ramit is going to be here. So remember to tune in. It is going to be 6th April, next Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. So so that's what it is. What else? Shall we start?
I must give a shout out to Ramit here and say that you've got the best guy for the job. He has the best contract, I believe, in the business. He has an ironclad contract that works very well for everyone. And he's a guy I go to myself when I have contract related questions. Wow. And then I want to go on this. So big shout out to Ramit.
Yeah. So he was saying that it is something which he's been, it took some 2.5 years for him to kind of evolve from a 7-point, contract to some, I don't know how many pages he has now. So he's going to be talking about that in next Tuesday. So please don't don't miss that. All right. With that, I think we should now start taking questions from the audience. Okay. So whoever has asked questions in the beginning, please copy and paste them because I don't know if I can go back and I saw a few very interesting ones. Okay, here it is. This one, Arun, from Nishant Deshpande. As a wedding photographer, how do you master the art of being invisible during wedding, yet to be there to click the right moment? And in any weddings photographer invade the rituals. So he's got a complaint. He's also asking you for a solution.
Yes, that's a good question. Now, I'll tell you how. Yeah. Okay. Now, first of all, you have to be 4 feet tall and weigh 30 kilos only to be a wedding photographer. Okay. Now,
wow. So you are as tall as a basketball player, and you are as big as a wrestler. How do you manage to get your picture?
So the background here, guys, is that I'm 6'2" and proportionate. So it's very difficult for me to be invisible. In fact, it's almost impossible for me to be invisible. But I'll tell you what. See, usually what you have to do is you have to become invisible as a photographer and visible as a friend. Okay, now I'll show you how. So if your entire time you are standing like this, okay, and your face is not visible, okay, and all the person sees is this. Okay, this camera that is in front of your face, and they don't see your face itself. They are going to identify you as camera face. Okay, and they'll all say, "Oh, photographer आ गया, परेशान करने के लिए ये, हमेशा घुस रहा है हमारे function में," and all of that's going to happen, right? So you have to show them this. Okay, now I make it a point to always lower my camera and talk to people who matter, the parents, the couple, the siblings, so that they know me as a person. And once they know me as a person, they'll say, Arjun has come. So the moment they know me as a person, I cease to be a photographer and I start being a person. I start being an individual. And once you are an individual, No one cares how close you are. We are Indians, yeah. We love people close to us. We love people, in our personal space, 5 feet away from us. And once you gain the trust and confidence of the people you're shooting, and you gain the trust and confidence of your subjects, they will not notice you. You can literally take your camera this close to them, and they won't notice you. And I guarantee this. Okay. And because why? Because you're now a friend. You're part of the family. And after that, you're invisible.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you very much. So that's what you need to do. I think it's very possible that once you become one of them, then you're invisible. So that's what you have to, train yourself in. What is it? Let me also look for some more questions. Okay, so this is another one from Sarvesh More. As a freelancer, what would you suggest, to rent a camera lens as per the shoot requirement, or to invest in an equipment? Because equipments, as you know, are getting better every day and they're getting more expensive. So renting or owning? That's a question from Sarvesh More.
This is again, it depends on your personal outlook on these things. I'll give you mine. I don't like rentals. Okay. I'll tell you why. I want to have my equipment or any camera and a lens handy every time. Like, let's say, suppose I want a camera right now, I should have a camera right now. You never know, some image might, spring up in front of me, and I want to capture it. So the idea is that, see, these are tools of the trade. Now, if you were a dentist or a lawyer or something, you're not going to say, I'm going to rent my chair, or I'm going to rent my, my books, because this is what you need. And let's face facts. Okay, I'll give you one truth bomb again. Not wedding photography, but photography is one of the cheaper professions to get into. Okay, now it may seem expensive, but let's consider. Okay, if you wanted to become, let's say, a doctor, okay, you need to spend lakhs of rupees on medical school, and your 8 years of training, and all the costs that come with it. If you want to become a pilot, okay, you have to invest again close to 50. In fact, I have a pilot friend, and he told me you have to invest close to, let's say, 80 lakhs to maybe 100 lakhs for the training and the flying hours and the licensing costs and all of that. Now, if you compare this to photography, I think for 4 to 5 lakh rupees, you can easily get a state-of-the-art kit that you can use to call yourself a professional photographer. So let's face it, 5 lakh rupees, that's it. If you compare it to other professions, lawyers, doctors, engineers, even engineering. Suppose you want to go to engineering school and engineering college, people nowadays, the cost of that degree is anywhere between 20 and 25 lakhs. Similarly for an MBA. So let's face it,
So true.
guys.
Yeah.
Quit making excuses. Quit making excuses. Okay, all you need to do is spend a few lakh of rupees in in creating your professional equipment, and maybe and there's so much knowledge available for free. You don't even have to spend and spend money for fancy colleges. You can learn on YouTube. You can learn on Pixel Village. So this is not not an expensive career to get into. So stop making excuses. If you want to do it the right way, do it the right way. Invest in your equipment, invest in your tools, and go start making money.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was about to say. This is one profession where nobody will ask you about to show you a certificate. You want to fly a jet, or you want to cut open somebody. You definitely have to be experienced, qualified, and all that. But
and show your Ivy League certificate and Ivy League college and all those costs. Nothing needed here.
Absolutely. I'm going to. So we are close. We have overshot the time. We are close to 1 hour 30 minutes now. Arjun has to go. So I'm going to take you there. Okay, so I didn't say that. You said it. So you are inviting trouble now. So there are one more questions that I'm going to pick here. Habil Jiruwala is asking, hi, what are the best ways to start getting opportunities to freelance for wedding photography projects? These are things I cannot find online and feel the need to know the right people.
See, again, the answer is similar to any other business. If I mean, your question basically, in other words, is where do I find work from, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically that. And this is true of anything, yeah. I mean, it's true of any. Yeah, definitely knowing the right people, is not the answer. The answer again is to create unique work. The idea is to make yourself be found, and it's like a restaurant who's serving a menu, and the idea being that where do I find new customers? I mean, you find customers the way everyone finds customers. I mean, you advertise, you make yourself known, you put your work out there, you create something unique, and automatically people will come. So again, even in the photography sector, see, again, you can either freelance. So when you say freelance, I think you mean freelance for other photographers. Again, for that, you need to find people you're comfortable with. I don't know much about freelance. I have never freelanced in my life, and nor do I use freelance photographers. All the people who shoot for me are people who work as part of my team. So I don't use any freelance photographers. But the idea again is to make yourself unique, make yourself wanted, and automatically people will find you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That was fantastic. And this is the time. Do you want to pick any questions for? Did you see any questions that you wanted to answer particularly?
I'm looking through it right now.
How you are? Is it? No, you can see it on the right side of your screen, can't you? You can go to your StreamYard, that particular page on your Chrome, and on the right side there is a window. There you can see. So if you scroll up and down, you can actually see.
Oh wow! Okay, I can see a lot of people are reminding you about the giveaway. So giveaway. So I think lots of good questions. There are lots of good questions. I think we'll maybe go what Missed Anjuran is saying. Is freelance wedding photography profitable in today's scene? Again, I would say yes and no. It is profitable if you are good at what you do and people want you. Okay, let me address this topic of freelance, because a lot of questions I'm seeing are about freelance. See, remember that photography is one of those very few professions which allows you to work freelance. And I am not a fan of freelance. Okay, I'll be very clear about that. I am not a fan of this entire genre, because what freelance means is that you are basically, let's say, suppose I am hiring you for a project. It means that I am subcontracting some work to you. I send you there, you go shoot, and I take the memory card from you, and I keep it in my pocket, and we all go back. So what it means is you are just going, and to use the popular term, sometimes in an industry, it means exposing. Okay, it means you're going and exposing at an event. Yeah. It sounds very wrong. It sounds very wrong, but that is the word that I think.
It took a while for me to understand initially when somebody told that to me. What is exposing?
Exposing. So, but I'm not a fan of that. I'll tell you why. I'm being very serious here. I'm not a fan of this because you don't learn. You are not adding any value. Okay, you are simply going, you're taking some pictures and you're leaving. You're not even seeing what you've shot. In many cases, just as the event is over or the assignment is over, your memory card is taken out. You've not even had a chance to review what you've shot because the card is taken away. So I honestly recommend to everybody, work for yourself. Okay, work for yourself, work for your own clients, people who have hired you for you, people who've hired you for your talent. Okay, not as a see, again, I don't mean to offend anybody here. I mean, this is just my personal view. There are many wonderful people I've met over the years who are freelance photographers, and they're working because and that is their main source of income. But my answer to all of that is still, if you want to elevate the kind of work that you're doing, then work directly for for your clients, for your projects, or work as part of a team. Work as part of a studio where you're working with the same people every day, and that will make you a better person. It will make you a better photographer, and it'll make you enjoy the process of photography a lot more.
Great. Hey, thank you. One very important question, which is among those people who have asked so many questions, I saw only one women face, Madhuri Dhugar. If I if I guess, that I can't see the face very clearly. The very tiny. The thumbnail is not very visible, but from the name, I assume that you're a lady. And Arjun, your wife also is a part of your team. So I wanted to ask about that minuscule minority of women photographers in wedding photography and photography in general. Why are they? And they are amazing. I mean, whoever I've met, in fact, the percentage of great photographers among women that I've met are much more than men. Okay, so if you look at percentage wise, 9 out of 10 women photographers I met are amazing women photographers. So that being the success rate, why are they not really coming and coming out and choosing that as a profession? Or I'm just an idiot. I'm not seeing.
No. The numbers speak for itself. In fact, I would say, we even did a census on this once as the association, and the numbers are frightening. I think for every 100 male photographers, there is one female photographer, and that seems to be the numbers now. I think there's a combination of things here. In fact, I would say that 10 out of 10 female photographers I've met have been amazing. And I genuinely believe that, women photographers are more creative than men. Women in general are more creative than men. And, especially when you put a camera in their hands, they create magic. And every single, female photographer I've known has worked incredibly hard to reach the position that, she's reached today. And I think it's great. And I think the problem here is essentially the same with any other profession. I think photography is a very male-dominated field where there is a lot of, shall we say, sexist, views taken to people operating in this field. And that's something that we need to change. And unless we ourselves change it and we encourage, our friends, our sisters, our family and people we know to enter photography, it's not going to happen. So I think the change starts small. The change starts with ourselves, and we need to encourage, equal opportunity. I mean, I'm not saying that we should, create reservation or we should create, special position. Nothing. Equal opportunity. I mean, equal, because as photographers, we are, shall we say, agnostic to, male, female. It is about the art. So equal opportunities for all, and encourage, as many people as possible to join this field, and that would be great.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Do you see any more questions that you would like to pick? Otherwise, I'd like to call it.
So guys, let's do this. I'll answer 2 more questions. Okay. And
sure.
If you want your question answered, just paste it into the comments section so that we can see it. And, any interesting questions that comes, obviously we'll be more than happy. I can see a lot of things are coming. Okay. Sushant Patil. Hi, Arjun and Radha sir. In what proportion or ratio we should invest in camera body, lens and lights? As the light is very important factor in photography. That's a very good question, actually. So, see, like I said earlier in this talk, lenses are for life. Okay. Lenses are for life. Okay. Once you buy it, most lenses will easily give you a service of 15-20 years. Okay, there's no reason why a lens will stop working, or you need to change it. So let's say, suppose like your classic lenses, your 50 millimeter, your 35 millimeter, your 24 millimeter. These are all lenses that are great today. They'll be great 20 years from now as well. Okay, so once you buy a lens, it is, unless you break it or you drop it or you screw it up, I don't think you need to buy it again. Okay, so this is not one of those recurring yearly costs that we talked about earlier. This is a one-time cost. Okay, and it'll give you service all your life. Bodies, yes. See, again, I'm not saying that, like the iPhone example, you should go and buy a body every year. Absolutely not. I'm sure my friends at Fujifilm and Sony and Nikon and Canon, they want you to buy it. They're like, "Karido, hamara camera karido, bahut acha camera hai." No, okay. I think maybe like a cycle of incremental changes. Okay, like whenever there is something drastically new, or this camera is wow, so much more different from that camera, then maybe you should buy a camera. Maybe. Okay, but I would say once every 5 years, once every 4 years is more than enough. Otherwise, there's not that much difference in the cameras nowadays. And lights again is for life. Okay, once you buy a flash, it should last you a long time. In fact, I still have the flashes that I bought way back in 2001, 2002, 2003. They still work. In fact, some of my studio lights, okay, I remember Chrome many years ago before I became a Godox ambassador. I remember Chrome had gifted me two lights. I think this was way back in 2004, 2005. And I still have it today and I still use it. So most of my studio work is using those lights, and there's a old lights. Okay, I still use it. I mean, still lying there, and sometimes we use it for some additional fill and pop and whatnot. So it's for life. So don't worry about this gear. Don't give in to buying things again and again and again and buying. Once you make a kit, unless you are having more photographers in your team, like for example at Together Studios, we are roughly 16, 17 people. So that means 16, 17 kits. So 16, 17 bodies, 16 into 5 number of lenses. So and today we are sitting on a huge stockpile of more than I would say 70, 80 lenses sitting here in the office.
Wow.
But unless yeah. But unless you are in that kind of situation and you are shooting for yourself, you don't worry about it. Don't waste money.
Wonderful. Great. I think this is going to be a never-ending session. I think we have to stop someplace.
Yeah.
And I would like to, announce the giveaway, but unfortunately, the question that I really liked has disappeared. It's that person who talked about how can you be invisible during the session. So I'm going to hunt him in the comments column, and I'm going to send him a question. I forgot his name, Nilesh somebody. If you're still around, just copy and paste that question again. Yeah, so I will be able to send you a question. So the person who asked the question on how to be invisible during a ceremony. I mean, that was a very, very Nilesh Deshpande, correct? Correct. So Nilesh, if you are still around, please post a comment here so that I can get in touch with you, or you can also because I will not be able to answer the live chats anymore once we end up the end of the session. So please, Nishant Deshpande, okay, Nishant,
Deshpande, yeah.
please, Nishant, please send me a comment in the comments column so that I'll be able to interact with you. Live chats not exactly possible once the session is over, and we will make sure that this reaches you. This is the Godox R1, and thank you, Godox, for making this possible this evening. Absolutely, we must clap for Nishant Deshpande. Oh, he's still around, Nishant. Oh, wonderful, great, Nishant. Nishant, please type a comment in the in the comments column, not on the live chat, or you can send me a mail from. First type a comment. I'll tell you how to get in touch with us and how I can reach it out. Look at Arjun like a child. He's like trying to, wonderful. Party time. Wonderful. Arun, please suggest what's the right way what's the right way. Let's congratulate Nishant Deshpande for winning this one, Nishant. So remember to comment so that I can get in touch with you. Okay, not on the live chat. Perfect. So we're going to deliver this to your home. I hope you are in India, because this is I can send it only within India. I'm sorry about that, but of course. So wonderful. I am so happy and so excited about this evening's session. It was really, really wonderful catching up with you. One second, also you answered those questions in such a articulate fashion. Everyone could understand that, relate to that. I also learned a few things about wedding photography, and fantastic. You are a champion. Thank you very much, Arjun. Wonderful. To
So I just
everyone,
want to,
please,
I'm sorry,
sure.
I can answer all the questions. So what we'll do is I'll try and I know a lot of people have been asking me to do more live sessions on my own Instagram page. I'm very lazy. It's only when
Yeah.
Radha invited me that I've come here. But otherwise, I'm always more than happy to answer. But I do promise I'll try and hold more Insta sessions on my own page, maybe smaller sessions where I can answer all your questions. So in case you haven't,
what is your Insta handle?
togetherstudios.in. So TWO. No,
TOGETHER
it's
Studios, correct?
dot in. TWO. So TWO.
TW, correct.
So I'll
Together
just
Studios, right?
Together
Okay, so let
Studios.
me bring it onto the screen. Is this the one? That's your. Can you check the screen,
Dot,
please?
dot,
That's your.
dot in. So dot in. So I'm just putting it as a comment. Togetherstudios.in.
What is dot in? Your Insta has a dot in, is it?
Yeah, it's part of the Insta. So we just made it same as the website. So at the rate togetherstudios.in. That's the
Wonderful.
Insta. Yeah,
There
that's
you
the
are.
one.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Please, people, please follow Arjun. You'll be updated. You can also get in touch with him directly, ask questions. He will, whenever he has time, he will definitely, reply to you. And he also does a lot of live interaction with his client. WPAI is a fantastic organization, a community that he's building. He has built already about 10,000, members. And there he does a lot of sessions like this. So please follow him. If you're a photographer wanting to know more about photography, interested in community participation, etc. Thank you very, very much. And I would like to know, people, how you like the session. Please share today's links with people. This is going to remain on Pixel Village's YouTube channel for people to come back and watch. Please share in your groups, share with your friends, whoever will be interested. They will, be benefited. So that's it for this evening. Thank you very much for being a part of this. So don't forget to tune in next week for the session with Ramit Batra. Again, this discussion on wedding photography business will continue. Okay, and once again, thanking Arjun, Godox, and everyone who participated today.
Thank you.
Typical Pixel Village fashion. Bye for now. All right.